so that you can share to other people who are not live on here. So thank you everyone for joining. I'm going to introduce our moderator for this webinar, who will introduce the panelists. So karibu sana Grace Misoi, please introduce yourself and then you can introduce our trainer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ratemo, and thank you everyone for joining us this morning. My name is Grace Misoi. I am a farmer. I am a trainer, and under KCOA project, I'm a master trainer. I'm also ecological organic agriculture leader in the region. And I also work with the organization in this western part of Kenya called Agroecological Initiative. And I also work for Capserate Agroecological Initiative. So, and I'm so happy to be part of this training this morning. And kindly mute those who are joining us. Yes, as I was saying, I am so happy to be part of this training this morning. And maybe the background for this webinar series we are running this week is a backup and also a follow-up of the trainings that we've been doing. So we are giving out more information to our multipliers, and not just the multipliers, we are also giving out information to everybody in the sector. So this information is important for everyone, farmers included. And this morning, we are privileged to have one of us, master trainer and our knowledge hub, Esther Kagai, who will be the lead trainer for this session. And she will have a co-facilitator, Nyambura. I'll be giving them a moment to take over shortly. But before I do that, I also want to appreciate the other master trainers in the house, those who are in, those who are yet to join. We have Samuel Nderito of GBIAC. We have Dr. Mihindo of Real IPM. We have Sylvia of Sylvia's Basket. We have Samuel Ndongo of Koan. We have Ferdinand of BioG. And of course, our field officer, our boss, Ratemo, is in the house as well. So those are the people who are experts in this platform who will be leading us the entire week. So those are the people, maybe I'll be giving them a time as we wind to say hi. But for now, please join me in welcoming this powerful lady. As I introduced her yesterday, I call her Mwanamke Bomba because I know what she has done and the potential in her. So without further ado, allow me to welcome Esther Kagai, who will then introduce to us Nyambura. Karibu sana, Esther.
Thank you, Madam Grace. I'm so happy to be here this morning. I am Esther Kagai, and I work for CSHEP Kenya. I am the director, and at the KCOA, I'm a master trainer. I'm also a farmer, and I'm a farmer's trainer, and I think I'm also a mentor and a mentee. Actually, at the Aora, I'm a mentee. So yeah, I'm a mother. I'm a woman. Yeah, just a woman. But I'm happy to be here to present to you this thing we call kitchen garden. And for me, I call it kitchen garden magic. Actually, my kitchen garden, I call it my magical kitchen garden. Why do I call it my magical kitchen garden? Don't go away. Be our guest. Here with me, I will have Madam Nyambura Simiyu. I can't see Nyambura on, would you like to, oh yeah, she's here. Welcome, Madam Nyambura. We shall take you through she will say hi to you, and then I will continue. Go ahead, Madam Nyambura.
Thank you so much, Esther, for giving me this opportunity to be here. I would like to introduce myself as a gardener. I am an avid kitchen gardener. I have gardened for many years. I keep an urban kitchen garden, and I'm very happy to be among the experts in farming and the experts in agroecology today, just to share the magic of my kitchen garden. Probably you've seen me around in the media, both local and international, but it's a great opportunity to be able to share what I do with the world. Thank you for this opportunity.
All right. You're welcome. So, the art of growing vegetables, herbs, flowers, and even other things that we don't classify in our kitchen garden for our household uses. Maybe Madam Grace, you go to the next slide. As I do, move to the next slide, please. As I do this introduction, I would like to let it be known that having a kitchen garden is not an option for any person who cooks, for any person who wants to eat healthy food, for any person who wants to know where their foods are coming from. It is not an option. It is actually a requirement. And whenever we, especially the ladies, are cooking from our own kitchen garden, there is that thing that you feel that you have accomplished of giving your people the right thing. Now, why the kitchen garden magic? Why do I call it a magic? Look, the encouragement, the wonder of finding that you can grow your own vegetables, you can grow your own herbs, you can have your own fruits like strawberries from your kitchen garden. Of course, that is to us is incredible, but having all the edible things together, it is just wonderful. And you feel like you have, whenever you plant a seed and it grows to be a mature thing that you are able to harvest, to taste it, to give it to your children, to give it to your spouse, even to give it to your neighbors, you feel like you have achieved something that is very good. The other thing is that joy of cultivating fresh food. Have you ever, I don't know whether you have ever gone to a hotel, then you order for some foods and you're given food that are not so fresh. You can just imagine how it tastes. And here we are giving this option of growing your kitchen, of having a kitchen garden so that you can grow your own food. You can have that joy of eating fresh food and satisfying your family through giving them good food. The other thing is that connection with nature, especially for people who like farming. I think my husband tells me always that farming is like a hobby to me. I don't even, he doesn't think I make anything from farming, but it is a hobby. I feel like I fulfill my hobby of connecting to the nature whenever I do kitchen gardening. So yeah, now let us go to the details of maybe the common features of a kitchen garden. When we are talking about common features of a kitchen garden, what are they? Number one, your kitchen garden is normally full of fresh food, nutritious food, vegetables, herbs, things that you use every day in your kitchen. Like, for example, can you remember in the morning, what kind of tea did you take? Did you take a tangawizi tea? Where did that tangawizi came from? Did you grow it or you just bought it from the supermarket? Look, do you have things like rosemary in your garden there outside? When did you use it lastly? And when you used it, how was that cheap? You see, that refreshing thing, nutrition, adding nutrient in your food. Of course, you can take a tea as a normal way and go where you're going. But now adding that nutritional value to your food, that is how we use, I mean, that's why we use many herbs. Number two, another feature of a kitchen garden, it helps us to save money. Whenever you have spinach, you have kitungu, you have pepper, you have all those things, you have tomatoes in your kitchen garden, you don't need to go buy tomatoes that are, you are not so sure of the way they are produced. You don't have to go to buy spinach from anywhere. You're just getting them from your kitchen garden and giving your family healthy food that you yourself knows where that food is coming from. It is cheap. You're not buying. It is cheaper than to grow them than when you're buying. So it saves a lot of money for you. The other thing, as I have said there before, it is healthy. It is healthy food. You yourself, I believe you can't go buying heavy chemicals to put on your sukuma wiki because you have seen an aphid. You will, hata wengine tu tunakatakata, tunaosha tu. We just wash the vegetable and we remove the pests and you cook. And that veggie remains healthy. It retains the vitamins. It retains the taste, you know. Yeah. The other thing, on environment, when we are growing our own food, we are putting back the carbon in the soil. You know, especially those who are in organic farming, those who are in agroecology, we emphasize on healthy soil, putting back the carbon in the soil. We also emphasize on whenever you are doing your processing, try to use the most sustainable way. Like you're going to use polythene papers. Even if you happen to use them, use the good quality ones. And also in the deep disposal, you're going to dispose them very well. So you reduce on the environmental degradation. You try whenever you're doing a kitchen garden. Of course, now you don't use any transport. You're not using any packaging material. You have not bought any processed food. You know, so all that reduce a heavy impact on our environment. The other thing is that there is an educational opportunity. Like, for example, those who have families, those who have kids, when did your kid go to plant? Have you taught your kid on how to plant things like vegetables, things like herbs? Do they even know where carrots come from? Ama they think they come from the supermarket? Kitchen garden helps us to bring our children to the nature, to connect them to the nature, to show them how to grow our own food, how to grow their own food, so that even when you don't have that money to go to the supermarket, they're able to grow their own food. So it is a skill that you impact to them on gardening for self-sufficiency. Remember when we had COVID, many people turned to the gardens because they saw the danger of being of depending on other people for your food. Many people started farming, and I wish they continue with the same thing. Remember, the other thing I usually say is that a farmer is somebody who has this great virtue of patience. Imagine planting a spinach. Planting a spinach, maybe day 1, you look at it, day 2, 2 weeks, for up to 3 months since you start harvesting it. That's a lot of patience. So you teach yourself that patience. You also teaching your children to be patient with the things, you know, that nowadays people, the young people want things to, you plant today and tomorrow you're harvesting. So this virtue of patience is very, very important, and we can get it right away from our from our kitchen garden. The other thing is that, of course, when you're doing your own things, you're doing your own spinach, you're doing your own tomatoes, you'll get the best flavor that you want, the best variety that you want. You're even able to know this variety did very well, this variety didn't do well, this variety I wouldn't like to have it anymore, or I will preserve this variety. And for those who are preservers of seeds, we are able to know this higher room seed is adaptable to this weather condition or not. Remember, the main things that with our features here is access to clean food, education to our own people and to our garden, reduce our cost of living, both in food for food costs and anything, and even health, because there are sometimes you go buy things there outside and they make you sick, and yeah, they preserve our environment. We can go to the next slide, where we are talking about this aspect of education. When I was looking at it in this way, when you're doing your own kitchen garden, can you imagine how many people you visit? Like my friend Nyabura Simiu does kitchen garden, but she's keen to know what I do in my kitchen garden, because she wants to learn more on how I do my kitchen garden. She wants to go to another friend of ours. She wants to know what she's planting. You know, you keep going. You have continuous learning. You keep learning new things. You know, every time we have new crops that are coming in, some are herbal, some, medicinal, some are very good for our nutrients. So there is continuous learning whenever you start doing a kitchen garden. The other thing is exploration. You explore food, you explore herbs, you explore vegetables. Like, can you imagine, like, for example, ask yourself, when did you take, like, when did you cook a pizza, your own pizza, using your own basil from your own kitchen garden? Can you remember that time? How was it? Or maybe, let me move from pizza. Maybe we are so much into organic. Let us prepare our githeri with basil, that herb we call basil. Have you ever eaten herb food cooked with basil? Yet basil is just easily grown. You don't have to buy, you can just grow it there outside. You explore a lot of food, because you have a lot of recipe outside there, a lot of herbal teas that will help you to remove stress. Sometimes you have a lot of stress in the evening, you just want to relax. If you know certain herb will help me, maybe if I take this mint plus lemon balm, I will take that tea and I will relax like a child. Yeah, you explore things. The other thing is that continuous learning. I had said there before, but I'll repeat, because this photo, I want to go to this photo. The first photo you see there, they're students from Nairobi University. They had come to learn on how to make a kitchen garden. And I took them to these young ladies you see there down. These young ladies are very, very happy, because when they grow there, can you see the kind of the environment we are having? Okay, let me say the area I live in is a Nasan area, where it's somehow it's very dry, and you see the sunshine that is there. And this woman these women are able to produce food from their own kitchen garden. When everybody else is saying it is so dry, we have to go to the market to look for vegetables. For them, they are happy. They are happy people because they have their own food, and they are able to train these young guys from the university, and they're able also to share the knowledge they're having through what they have learned through their kitchen garden. Yeah, now we move to the next slide, and that's where we get the methods of making kitchen garden. I know you know so many methods of making kitchen gardens. You can decide to do the previous slide shows. Just go back a little. You'll find some photos of some methods. Yes, there. The first photo is just a simple way of making your kitchen garden. You don't have to be very fancy. You don't have to be very expensive. You only need to have a small garden somewhere, and then you make your own beds, and then you plant your seeds. And then the management, we shall talk about that thereafter. You can also have, if you don't have a lot of space, you can have like this container garden or sack garden. Yeah, there down, we have our son called Mr. Emmanuel with a lot of sack gardens there. You can decide to go that way because again, with our environment, you would rather have the sack gardens. They're able to retain water instead of having them on the ground, because the ground takes a lot of water. You can also decide to have a multi-story garden. These gardens, the vertical garden that are, we call them multi-story garden, they're very good. If you get the good quality with good spacing, then you're able to grow a lot of vegetables. You can decide the upper layer, you can put, possibly you can decide to put dania. Then the next layer you put your spinach. The next layer you put your kales. The next layer you put your onion, and you keep watering. Then at the end of the day, you're harvesting from just one garden, and you have your vegetables. The other part you can find yourself doing the urban garden, kitchen garden. You can see them. You can use the tires, as you can see there. You can use wood and to make a shelf. You can also decide to make some shelf using the, you see the way those pipes, the water pipes are made. You can decide to do that, and you come up with a small garden. The essence of doing this is to come up with a kitchen garden to grow your own food. Yeah. So we go to the next slide where we see what do you include in your kitchen garden. When you're doing your kitchen garden, of course you don't want to put everything in the kitchen garden. I don't expect to find things like coffee or banana tree in your kitchen garden, because this is a small garden that is just to support you with your home thing, the everyday uses of the house. So I would maybe before you decide on what to use or on what to put in your kitchen garden, maybe you can check on what your family like most. Possibly, do they like herbs? What kind of greens do they like? And sometimes we, especially the young women, we are not teaching our young ones to eat vegetables. I don't know why. Yet, if you use a kitchen garden method, let them grow the vegetables, like let them plant the spinach, then let them cook, let them eat. You gradually introduce eating vegetables into their diet. Make sure as we continue teaching you on this kitchen garden, make sure that those small things that help you to bring your family into healthy eating are you put more emphasis on them. When you're selecting things to do in your kitchen garden, things, herbs like basil are very good, oregano, mint, rosemary, lemon, verbena, celery. You can use the parsley, thyme. There's wide range of herbs that you can put in your kitchen garden to support you to cook different things in your house. The vegetables, you can decide to put tomatoes, lettuce, many other things like radish, beetroot, pepper, carrots, all of them. You can put them in your kitchen garden. And of course, you will ensure whenever you're doing that, you don't give it, you don't do in a big portion. Otherwise, it will not be a kitchen garden. Some people will also look into putting things like fruits like strawberry, gooseberry, yeah, just to diversify their production in the kitchen garden. And sometimes I find it so nice to have the strawberries in your kitchen garden. My mother has these things we call pepino in her kitchen garden, and I can assure you, when my children go to visit her, the first station after they get into the homestead is to go to harvest the strawberries and to harvest the pepino. So you can also instill in your children that, like, let them know that having good things in the garden is also therapeutic to them. Yeah. We go to the next slide. The other thing that we find in the kitchen garden is therapeutic, especially for those women or those people who are men and women, those who are in agroecology. It is so fulfilling and relaxing to have to have something that you're doing physically outside your house, especially those who are living in town. Maybe if you have a small space there and you make a kitchen garden, by the way, organizing those containers, organizing those herbs, knowing where to put your vegetable, what for us, the other one, that makes your mental works together, your mental ability, I mean your mental well-being, and also makes you work physically. Like, you don't have to keep to sit down so much. You can do those small physical activities that will enhance your good health. The other thing is that whenever we are doing this, as I said there before, you are fulfilling your family food safety fulfillment. What do I mean by this? You know where you're getting your family food from. You know where your spinach is coming from. Even if you watch a documentary talking about the way the farmers are using heavy chemicals to spray so that they can, they can produce more for the market and they get more money, you are not worried. Why? Because you're getting your spinach from your kitchen garden. You're not worried about why the way farmers are drying their kitungu with herbicide, which is really causing a lot of cancer in our country. Why? Because you have your kitungu in your kitchen garden. You're harvesting your kitungu from your kitchen garden. So it is very, very important to have that aspect of safety of the family food as whenever you're doing your kitchen garden. The other thing is that fulfillment of food, the family food needs. As I said there before, you are providing your family with the food that they need, that they require. You're even introducing new food into your family. You're able to fulfill the need of that family. They're not eating ugali with very few vegetables with a lot of water. Why? Because you have vegetables, you're able to give a big portion of the vegetables. You don't have to add water, of course. So the other thing is this magic of, as I said there before, the herbs in your garden. It is so magical to have all those things together. They protect one another from pests and diseases. Whenever you take those trees from the herbs, they also protect you from other diseases. You hear they prevent you from getting like colds. Whenever you are used to take a lot of means every now and then, not every day, of course, you protect yourself from getting colds, yeah, things like chest issues, digestive issues with things like sage. So you heal yourself through those magic herbs in your kitchen garden. The thing is planting specific herbs or flowers with intention in your kitchen garden. Please, that brings a lot of fulfillment in whatever you are doing. So the thing is, are you getting fulfillment from your own kitchen garden as you continue growing different things from your kitchen garden? We can go to the next slide where we are talking about the steps of getting into the establishment of a kitchen garden. And after this slide, maybe I will have a practical session of 5 minutes, just like few minutes, to see how an established kitchen garden is. Nyabrasimil will take us through. So the first step when you're creating your magical kitchen garden, number one, choose the suitable place for your kitchen garden. Make sure your kitchen garden will be somewhere that it will be facing some sunlight. Maybe in the morning or late in the evening, at least there will be some sunlight. The next step, after selecting the place, plan and lay out you know how we do a layout of what here I want this to be here, the other one I want to be here, I want veggies to be this way, I want this thing to go there at that corner. Yeah, just make that layout and ensure that you do a lot of companion planting. Like, for example, integrate an onion with vegetables. They will prevent them from getting a lot of pests because of the bad or the strong smell that comes from the onions. So make sure your layout spells protection and companion planting. You don't again want to plant plants that are not friends. You don't want to plant plants that are affected by the same pests and diseases. There are some plants that you can also plant and they are friends to one another. Like if you decide to put maize at the edge of your kitchen garden and then you plant some cucumber, I want to assure you that cucumber will be very happy. It will be climbing over the maize, and the maize will be protected. We will be having will be protected from the maize armyworm, because it doesn't come near that cucumber plant because of those blinking things, small what the hairy thing that are in cucumber. They don't like it. So you will be protecting that maize, and that cucumber will be so happy because it will be climbing up onto the maize. The other thing is that, as I said there before, you don't want to put things that don't match. Of course, you don't want to put kales and cabbage in your kitchen garden, and you're planting a line of kale and the other line of cabbage and the other line of broccoli. How do you do that? They are in the same family, of course, they are coming from the same family, but they are not friends. You can't put me with my enemy and we work together. No, you put friends and friends to work together. Things like peas will keep on rejuvenating your kitchen garden because of the nitrogen fixing in the soil. You know, you keep planting things like peas, things like even beans will still do. Things like cowpeas will do very well. The other thing is that you need now to start to prepare that place very well, and also to, whenever you have put your seeds, ensure you water. If your place is like my place where it is asal, ensure that you do a lot good mulching, not so thick, because if you put so thick, then you create a good bed for termites, and not so thin, because now you'll of course have done nothing. And when the weed come, it blows away the whole mulch. So ensure that you put a medium-sized mulching that will prevent your soil from getting heated by the sun, and prevent a lot of evaporation, so that that water can be maintained or retained underground for your crops. So ensure good maintenance of your kitchen garden. A lot of activities need to be done. And before we go to the activities that you need to do during your kitchen gardening, I would like to invite Madam Nyambura to take us through how integration of herbs can support you. And we can do that. We are going to do that with demonstration. She will demonstrate to us, and we will see how it goes. Thank you. Madam Nyambura, come in kindly.
Thank you for this chance, Esther. I'm not sure whether you can see my background actually, but I'm going to try and talk about how to integrate herbs and fruits in your garden. As you always say, you know, there are crops, like Esther said, that love each other and those that don't love each other. My background is my kitchen garden, and I grow, as you can see, the taller ones are fruits, and below here we have vegetables. So I have actually looked at vegetables that can do well under shade, and that will be spinach and lettuce. So those ones, I've grown them below my fruit trees. So in this small space, I'm able to get both fruits and I'm also able to get vegetables. Because also I live in a very dry place, I have looked at the conditions that are good for my plants. I've realized that if I grow them in the open space, they dry very fast. So I've gone ahead and put these crates that you can see. This is where I grow my vegetables because one, it's very easy to manipulate the soil inside here. So if I've grown spinach in this season in this crate, when I remove them, I can put beans or I can put something, and that is a crop rotation, which we also learn in the usual farming. So I'm able to do that in my kitchen garden by the use of crates, which I can always change. Also, I can bring manure and put in this crate. If I have a crate that is not doing so well, I can always add to that one crate. Also, using a different crate for different crops helps me to control pests. So can you hear me? Hello? Am I?
Nyambura,
Yes, you are.
you mind
Yes.
switching your camera? We see,
Oh,
so that we see more of the garden, I think.
oh, you see more of the garden other than me.
If you
Okay,
don't mind.
let me see where I do that. Okay, so what I was saying is that if you're using crates or containers, it's easy. I can't see where to switch my camera. How do I rotate it?
It's okay.
Now you can see anything.
Okay, so it's fine. We are seeing.
You're seeing the garden, only that it's a bit blurred. Now, is it better?
Yes, you can continue.
Yeah, so as I was saying that when you use crates like this, it's very easy to manipulate them. You can control pests. If you have a pest in one crate, it's very easy to control them before they spread everywhere. And especially if you have a very small space, like I said, I am an urban gardener and my space is very urban. What that means is that I also need it to be aesthetic other than just being an usual garden. And I also need to be very creative. The other thing I like to say is that I've been able to grow my food all the time and also eat my own food. When I leave this garden, I'm going to show you what I do so that I'm able to have food all the time without necessarily going to the market. And that is food preservation, which I'm very passionate about. I'm going to show you a few things that I've preserved from my kitchen garden so that I don't buy. I hope now you can see me better. I've moved to better light. Is that better?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I was saying, you've seen my kitchen garden, it's containers and trees, fruit trees, and the containers growing below them. I think the camera was not doing me very, very well, but I hope you've seen something. So the other thing that I do is I do food preservation. Like you can see these are chilies. Like Madam Esther said, the kitchen garden is very magical. That is because if you are a gardener and you've grown your own food, which is very good, and remember, it can be seasonal. So if you don't preserve it, there's the risk of you going out and buying food which is not clean and you're trying to eat organically grown food. So one of the things you can do is preserve. Like I now preserve my chilies with a method called pressure canning, which is a very easy thing to do at home. Everyone can do it. You can also do fermentation, like I've done, this is cabbage. I've fermented my cabbage into a sauerkraut. So I don't have to buy anything when the cabbages are out of season. I already have my cabbages. I've fermented them. Then you can also do pickling. Pickling is where you soak your vegetables in brine. This is cucumbers. So I have my cucumbers for way longer because I'm able to preserve them. Then I also have fruits right now. Like now, mangoes are in season. So you find yourself, you can make mango purees and jams and pressure can them. This is just using just a pressure cooker, or you can use a water bath to can your kitchen garden produce, so that reduces the risk of you going out and eating unclean food. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
we can.
the other thing you can do is there still echo? The other
No.
thing
Go ahead.
you can do is to dry your food. Like this is dry vegetables, which I have dried. When they are on season, and just I hope you can see, I dry them and store them in these bags in a cool, dry place. So I have food throughout the year just because I kitchen garden. So my family doesn't have the risk of eating food which is not clean and food which I don't know where to get it. And that actually is the magic of kitchen gardening. When you put your dedication to kitchen gardening and keeping your food, storing your food, I am a very big advocate of food preservation. And apart from the methods that I've said, pressure canning, pickling, and fermentation and drying, you can also blanch your food and freeze it. That way, even you reduce the pressure on your kitchen garden. Remember, we said this is a small space where you're growing food that is accessible. So you reduce the pressure of you having to harvest every day or having to grow every day. You've preserved your food, you've saved your time also, because preserved food is easier to cook. Like if I want a chili sauce, I just pop it out and I use it. If I want a jam, I just get this one and I use it. And it's very easy and it's very clean. So that's part of the magic of kitchen gardening. And the other thing that I would like to say is that even if you don't have a space, like my space is an urban garden. I'm so sorry, the light outside didn't do very well. We were not able to see the garden well. But you can find me on any other media, social media. I always share my garden. So the garden is very small, yet it's able to produce about 80% of all our vegetables and fruits. We also do keep small animals. Madam Esther, when I met her, the first thing she told me is to integrate small animals in my garden. So rabbits are very good for your gardening. You just have the manure, you use the urine to spray your vegetables, so you don't use any harmful chemicals. That's one of the things that I'm very, very ardent about. You keep small animals, you keep chicken. I remember the day she asked me what I used to fertilize my garden, and she actually really encouraged me to keep a few chicken behind my backyard. And I did, and it really works very well. It really worked very well. And apart from just giving me manure, the chicken was also able to give me an extra income. So you see, the kitchen garden continues being magical, not only providing you food, it also provides you money, it helps you save money, and it helps you also be able to conveniently live. Like I call it, live easy. It's very easy. You want to cook something, you just get it from where it is. And I think that that's part of my demonstration. I hope you've learned something, or we've seen helpful information from kitchen gardening. So the other thing that I would like to say is Madam Esther talked about kitchen gardening being therapeutic. I have had the pleasure of working with people who have mental health, and one of the things we've done with them is to establish kitchen gardens for them, and they have actually reported, even after going back to their therapist and going back to the hospital, their mental health has greatly improved because of gardening. So kitchen gardening is one of the ways therapists are actually recommending people to do to improve their mental health. Also, keeping animals has been proved to improve stress, to reduce stress in even older people as companions. So people who keep rabbits, people who keep goats, people who keep chicken have been seen to have better mental health and to have better coping methods, as opposed to people who do not have any plants or any animals in their spaces. So kitchen gardening has actually been proved, and even research has been done and recorded and documented, that it helps reduce stress and help with therapy. Also, kitchen gardening, remember it's plants you're talking about. So plants are healing. Plants in themselves, they are healing because they absorb carbon dioxide and produce oxygen. So whenever you go out, if you have a kitchen garden, when you step outside your home, you are breathing fresh air because the plants have cleaned the air for you. So they help a lot in a relaxation. The other thing that I would like to say is that when you're growing herbs, like you've seen, herbs are very good with aromatherapy, and they reduce stress and they help relaxation. So I like to say that you can use your herbs to steam yourself. Like in 2020, all of us were steaming, and those of us who didn't have and to buy them. But if you have a kitchen, if you had a kitchen garden, you had a nature's pharmacy right in your garden, you would go out, pick those herbs, come and steam them, and it was very, very helpful. And actually to date, I have learned that the art of steaming aromatherapy is very, very good, not only even for healing your respiratory system, even for reducing your stress, and even for helping your muscles. If you have muscle problems, you can pick a few herbs from your garden and use them to soak your feet, and it's very relaxing and it helps you heal. If you're growing flowers like chamomile and you can't sleep, you take the chamomile tea in the evening and you sleep really, really well. So this is actually demonstrates that a kitchen garden is a nature's pharmacy. So we encourage as many people as can to keep a kitchen garden. I think at that point, I'll return myself back to Esther to continue with the presentation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam Nyambura. That is a job well done. I believe we didn't manage to see the kitchen garden because of the effect of the light, but I believe next time we can do it even better. But you have done it the right way. Yeah, we expected. Now, we have talked about having this kitchen garden, and we We talked about the therapeutic part of it. We have talked about the aspect of relaxing, how you can do the plan and layout of your kitchen garden, how to set up your kitchen garden. We have talked about even integration of herbs and all the methods of making that kitchen garden. But there is a part that we need to know, that is in the management of that kitchen garden. You may have done a very good kitchen garden, but if you're not managing your kitchen garden, of course it ends up not being a magical kitchen garden as you may expect. So we go to management of this kitchen garden, and number one is on soil. I'm happy that my colleague, Mr. Derito, who talks a lot about soil, is here with us. And he tells us that the soil is the womb. Soil as a womb. You know, a womb. The plants come from the soil, meaning the soil is the womb for our food. And in our webinar today, we are going to talk about having this soil as a way of having healthy food. Definitely, if your soil is not healthy, find you so many pests and diseases, especially the soil-borne diseases, wilting and all those, and even things like nematodes will be there. You will deplete your soil, but if you manage your soil properly, then you are able to get them up maximum. So how do you do this? Ensure, number one, ensure you are doing a regular manuring of your kitchen garden. Kindly, if possible, cease from using conventional fertilizer. Try as much as possible to go the organic way. That will really help. Try to increase the organic matter in your kitchen garden. Remain moist but not waterlogged. Ensure there is good drainage of that water. Sometimes we just throw that water in the garden. Ensure whenever the watering is being done, ensure whenever the watering of that soil is being done, it's just not done like you throw that water. Ensure it's done from cross range to prevent formation of hard pan. If you do it from way up, you put the pipe from very high up, you end up creating soil erosion, creating hard pan that will of course disturb your plants in your kitchen garden. So ensure that your watering is being done properly in the right way from close range. And number two, ensure that you're also doing a lot of mulching. And again, we said ensure that you are integrating nitrogen fixing crops in the soil to ensure that your soil is kept replenished every now and then, and your soil structure are kept well and in good condition. Ensure whenever I know you know that whenever you keep your soil with minimum tillage or minimum disturbance, you maintain very good soil structure. So in this case, when you do mulching, of course, you prevent a lot of weeds from coming up, and for that reason, you don't have to go there disturbing the soil. You only need to come back to plant. Yeah, so microbial biodiversity are very, very important. If you have things to enhance the organic things to enhance your soil, like EM, they're very, very important to put in the soil. Overall soil health, to ensure that soil is not contaminated from water, some people will put sewage water, which is not good. Ensure maybe the water that you're also putting in the soil is not salty. And if you happen to have salty water, then you can put it in a drum somewhere to stay overnight. Then you water the other morning. Then in that case, you prevent your soil from getting a lot of salt. The other thing is to control pests and diseases from your kitchen garden. Of course, a beautiful girl is loved by everyone, including even mad people. This means if your kitchen garden has everything nice, every pest will come in to eat your vegetables. So ensure you keep pest at bay. Ensure you integrate pest repellent plants that will keep the pests from coming to your plant. Again, avoid pathogens through non-contamination of tools. Ensure the tools that you're using to do your garden are well cleaned after using, or if you're bringing them from a different farm, you clean them before you get them into your kitchen garden, just to avoid pathogens from other places. Again, when you're doing your composting, ensure you do a completely well compost manure in your kitchen garden to avoid again pathogen from coming in, because you can bring in pests that are at their life cycle. Then they become mature when they are in your garden. But what happens when they mature in your garden? What will they feed on? Then you will be there. They will feed on your crop. Again, maintain well-weeded shamba garden. Ensure that, of course, most of the time we uproot them, because if you have done a good kitchen garden with good mulching, with we encourage biointensive methods. This we call it cross spacing. Do cross spacing. In this case, you avoid a lot of spaces that doesn't have anything, that I encourage weeds, and so ensure that you do uprooting of the weeds. Again, some weeds bring in some pests. Ensure that you don't have them in your kitchen garden. The other thing is pruning and trimming. Ensure that things like tomatoes, they need a lot of pruning. You don't keep a bush. Otherwise, if you keep that the tomato as a bush in your kitchen garden, then things like white flies will be your guests every day. And at a time, organically, you might not really be able to control them. So ensure that you prune them. You don't keep a big bush. And again, things like the ones that need training, like for example, you have planted cucumber, train them to go around. You can even put some stick, or plant maize to let them train through maize, or vines. If you have vines, ensure those who would grow mrenda in derema in their kitchen garden, ensure you train them to go around so that they don't invade the kitchen garden. The other thing is that harvest regularly. Don't wait for spinach to become yellow for you to notice that they are ready. No, ensure that you ensure that they are mature, and you harvest them regularly. The more you harvest vegetables, the more they produce. The more you don't harvest them, the more they stay like that. Once they are harvested, it's like the way somebody knows or a thing senses they're dying. They want to reproduce very fast. Even a human being does that. Not on the plants. When you know you're about to die, you produce fast so that you can leave something. So ensure you do that. Nyambura, kindly continue, because my battery is running low and I'm somewhere I can't charge it. Actually, we are just about to finish. We can go to the next one. if in case I'm gone, Nyambura, you will continue. We can go to the next slide. In conclusion, we are saying integrating of a kitchen garden is in your home is the way to go. Ensure and the little space you have, ensure you keep it. Those who don't have space, ensure you look for some. You can do urban gardening. Like Nyabuna doesn't have a big space, but she has ensured she has done those small containers, and she assured you that she doesn't go to buy vegetables. You can also do indoor planting. Yeah. We can go to the next one. I think it's the quote for the day. Yeah. Plant C happiness. Plant C of happiness. Cultivate love. Harvest joy in your magic kitchen garden. That is my own saying. So if your kitchen garden doesn't give you joy, then you're not harvesting joy. You're not harvesting happiness. There is no love in that. Even in your kitchen garden doesn't give you love because you're not taking your children there to have fun there. So ensure you cultivate all that through this saying, this quote of today. We go to the next one. I think we are just editing. Yeah, those are the powerful ladies who did the presentation for you today, not this one. The other, yes, these ones. Yeah, they are the powerful ladies who did the presentation for today. We are friends. We do organic farming, and we are farmers, and we love educating people. And yes, thank you very much. I beg to say thank you. And just in case of any question, we are here until my battery runs down. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Esther, for taking us through this powerful session. I also want to appreciate Nyambura for the good presentation she's done. You don't even have to complain about your camera. We could actually see, and it was very beautiful. And Esther has equated a magical garden to a beautiful girl that is admired by everyone, including mad people. I think I don't have to say more from what she has said. That is how we expect to see our kitchen gardens. And therefore, we are taking this chance to answer questions. Those who are following us online, you can post your questions, we'll be able to read. And those in the meeting, those who are in the room, you can actually raise your hand. We give you a chance to ask questions. Esther, I think she's not in now, but Nyambura is here. So she'll be able to answer your questions. Do we have anybody with a question?
On the chat, you can check.
Yes, I'm trying to check on the chat. Maybe I can start with a comment from Ferdinand. Ferdinand is asking, he's saying, I hope another webinar can be organized on backyard processing and preservation of leafy vegetables from what Nyambura has shared. I think, Ferdinand, we've noted this, and we will have to put it into consideration. So Nyambura, you realize you've impacted people, especially on the aspects of processing and preservation. So Ferdinand, it is noted, well noted. Ratemo, do you see any question from your end?
Yes, a question from Mercy Chirchir about which media or soil is good for a kitchen garden. Someone attempted to respond, but we don't mind hearing from Nyambura.
I actually don't believe in changing the soil of where you are, you can actually improve the soil. Because I always say, God in his wisdom made sure that Kajiado had black cotton soil, so I don't have to import any other soil to do my kitchen garden. So I use what I have, and then you add with a lot of manure and a lot of organic products like decomposing grass, decomposing plants. You just mix them with your soil, and that's good enough. You don't have to stress so much to import soil or special media. Maybe for germinating your seeds, you can use special media, but I always recommend use what is in that area where you are.
Maybe Esther, you can add something?
Yes, I can. And also to that, I would add the person, maybe you are in black cotton soil, that one need a lot of manure and a lot of organic matters. So ensure that whenever you are doing your cultivation, you put back the materials. You don't have to give everything to the animals. Ensure you put back the materials, the residues, to lighten your soil. The other thing is that there are things I hear people talking about trichoderma. I have not used it, but I know people present it as something that can be used to treat your soil. If in case you have issues with your dehydration, maybe you can try it. I don't know much about it. I don't want to talk about it so much, but integration of a lot of manure, ready manure, and again, use of EM, just to ensure that in case you have any any bacteria that are not very good for your soil, they are taken up by the EM. I know you may be knowing EM, effective microorganism, is a product that really help organic farmers. That will really help you. Otherwise, I also go with the suggestion that we don't change the soil that we have been given by God. You only improve it. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Nyambura. Do we have any other question, Ratemo, from your end?
Okay, I am also an urban farmer. I am attempting to be an urban farmer. So one of the challenges I have in terms of water, is it recommended to use the tap water, or I need to see how to filter it and use in my kitchen garden? Thank you.
I think I'll attempt to answer that, especially if you are in an urban area where the water is chlorinated. Don't use it directly from the tap. You can store it in a tank overnight. And if you have a borehole, you can use it directly.
Yeah, and on the other hand, we also like support your lab, your kitchen, you're washing your utensils. You can, if you're not using very heavy detergent, you can put that water in a bucket. Then you put maybe some little EM and or ash, and then you put it you irrigate the following morning. That water is still okay.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Nyambura.
Grace, on chat we have comments, and I read.
All right. I can see a comment from Moses Mahugu. Thank you for the presentation. I like that Nyambura touched on food preservation and kitchen processing, a passion that I share in. In case you would want to learn, there are a lot of videos on food canning and preservation on YouTube. Good day. There is a comment from Moses. I have also seen, I don't know if this is your garden, Nyambura. Somebody has shared a photo. It's Patrick from me. I shared a photo of a vertical garden.
No, that's not mine.
Oh, then maybe this is the work he's doing, maybe sharing with us the work he's doing. Congratulations, Patrick. And I think I have seen this in MIP. There is also a comment from Pramila, wonderful presentation. As a youth in the urban farming space, I love seeing this. So finally, we are touching the hearts of the young people. And of course, there is a comment also from Ishmael Mulenga. He's saying that this is a powerful presentation. Thank you, Esther and Nyambura. People are appreciating your work. Mercy Chirchir read asked the question, and Ishmael had commented on the same. He said that he thinks black soil mixed with sand appropriately is good or humus soil. But all in all, you have to build the soil. So everyone agrees that you can improve on what you have. That is good. We also have Felectus Omronji. Thank you so much for the powerful presentation. I'm learning a lot. So yes, Felectus is also learning. And of course, I had mentioned what Ferdinand had commented. Patrick is also asking if we can get the presentation in our emails. Yes, we will share the presentations once we are done with all the webinars. And I hope, Patrick, you've registered. It is good to register. He also said, thanks for letting me in. Thanks for the good work. Multiplier to be given certificate after training. Oh yes, Ratemo. Multipliers are saying after getting all this information and implementing them, training the farmers, they believe they should get a certificate. I think that is well noted. And of course, I see 2 new messages. Let me confirm if these are questions. Andrew says the presentation was illuminating. Esa, Kizungu, illuminating. This is beautiful. Nyambura, somebody has gone to your social media and we can already see this must be you.
Yes.
Yes, that is you. Thank you so much. Ratemo, do you still have other questions from your end or maybe on social media?
On social media, we don't, but Nyambura can explain this photo in a nutshell for us to understand.
I was talking about growing your food in crates. This is my front yard. Like when you walk into my home, this is what you're met with. This is when I was planting. So once it's planted, it's usually very nice and green. And this was just to demonstrate that it doesn't have to be hidden at the back. A kitchen garden, like Esther says, is a beautiful girl that is admired by everyone. So every time people walk into my home, they are met with a green luscious garden. It's in the front and it's grown in crates. And as I explained, crates are very easy to manage because if this one crate has a problem, then I can just manage that one without affecting everything else. That's the message.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Nyambura. I think there is also another
question.
Yes.
A question from Facebook to Nyambura. How do you control pests and disease organically? I think this is Nyambura.
Yeah, so I talked about using rabbit urine, which I'm very big on. That works really, really well, and you have to do it constantly. You cannot just do it once and forget. Then there are other methods to control pests in your garden, and one of the things that we really, really advocate for in kitchen gardening is interplanting or companion planting. For example, if you have nematodes, you can companion plant with marigolds. They are very helpful. If you plant chives in between your brassicas, they will also help. Different types of herbs repel different types of pests. So you don't just plant one crop in your kitchen garden, you plant many different types of crops. We also have home preparations that you can use to spray your garden. You can use a normal soap, you can use a neem, you can use aloe vera, you make concoctions, sorry, and you spray your garden with them. And that's organic way of preventing pests. There are also people who have gone ahead and made organically developed pesticides, and they are all over now. You can buy them and use them if you don't have to mix them. But as I said, the easiest, cheapest is rabbit urine, works all the time.
Wow. Thank you, Nyambura. There is a question from Hakim. He says, thank you very much, organizers, for this webinar. I'm Hakim James, the Executive Director for Organic Farming Advisory Organization, attending the webinar from South Sudan. It's educative. Actually, it's a comment. Thank you so much, Hakim. We are happy that you're following us from Sudan.
South Africa. South Sudan.
Oh, South Sudan. Yeah. Do we have any other question? Anybody in the room, you can raise your hand. We have a few minutes. More photos are streaming in. I hope those who are following us are able to see this. Actually, you don't have to hide this garden behind your house or on the backyard.
Hello.
Like I said, I am a potential urban gardener. So when I have my containers, those pots, you need to put a hole at the bottom because I was advised to put some holes for aeration. Thank you.
Yes, you need to put all your containers need to be able to drain the water.
Thank you.
So
Even also, remember when you're not even buying the containers, even when you're making your mitungis and maybe old karais, make sure you do holes from beneath. This will help in aeration of the soil. You'll also help in draining of the excess water. Yeah, it is very, very important to have the holes.
Thank you, Esther.
Maybe an open last round of comments and questions, so that we close.
Yes, actually the floor is open. Any question from anyone, any comment? Meanwhile, the master trainers in the room, be ready. I'll give you each a minute to say a word as we close.
Okay, before the first comment or the last one, I have put a pot with basil in the comments, and that's to demonstrate actually your kitchen garden can still be very, very beautiful because that pot is at my doorstep. So when you're entering my house, I don't have an unfunctional plant. I have a very functional plant, which is still very beautiful. And you can use pots, the ones you use to grow your usual flower plants. Wherever, you can just put them at your doorstep and they make very beautiful functional gardens. And what is on the screen now is my water bottles. I've used them to plant spinach.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Nyambura. I think there's one question on chats, the chat section. Hello, a question. Where can I get the crates or the containers most suitable for the kitchen garden? This is from Andrew.
Well, what I can say is, first of all, start with what you have. Like you can say, starting with bottles. Then the containers, you can buy them online. There are vendors who sell them. I actually bought mine on Facebook. And just type planting containers. You will find a lot of people selling them.
Nice. I hope, Andrew, your question is answered, and or not only to Andrew, but to others who are also asking themselves where they can get such beautiful crates. Jim is also saying the training is so sweet. It's helping us people of the Raqqa, where time like now it's too hot and our water is little. Thanks, organizers. So the training has come in handy. Do we have, looks like, Ratem, I don't see any hand up. So for that case, I'm giving Nyambura to say her parting shot, and then Esther, and then I will see if we have any master trainers in, they'll say a word before I can introduce our next trainer who will take us through tomorrow's session.
I'll go first so that my boss doesn't go before me. So I'm so grateful to have been part of this. I am very passionate about growing my own food, and it doesn't matter the climate I'm in, I'm always able to maneuver. I remember when I came to this place, they told me, don't bother, food doesn't grow here. I live in Kajiado, but food has grown in my compound, food has grown in my front yard, and I'm able to feed my family without spending money and without using a chemically grown food. So it's possible, it can be done. You just need to believe in yourself. And like I always say, ukijiamini inawezekana. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Nyambura. Esther. Unmute yourself, Esther.
Sorry. I am so happy. I'm saying I'm so happy that I can already see some comments that we have impacted some lives. And that's what we really wanted to do. And we hope that this webinar or the talk that we have had will go a long way to help you and many other who will interact with you to come up with your own kitchen garden, grow your own food. You know the status we are in our country, and remember your kitchen garden should be the source of your joy and a lot of love from the ones that surrounds you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Esther. We are so happy and proud to have had you online today. Now let me look at the master trainer, Sam Derito. Are you in? Meanwhile, as you wait for Sam, Sylvia, Kuria, Ferdinand, any of you that is in right now, you can take this minute to say hi to our audience.
Thank you, Esther, for the presentation. And
You're
I always like whenever there is a practical, even within a webinar, there is always something good to carry home. Keep up the spirit, and let's keep working on. Thank you.
Thank you, Ferdinand. Our master trainer from BioG. Sylvia, are you in? Looks like Sylvia is not in. And Sam. I hope Dr. Miindo, you're in. Because now I want to, before I can give it back to Ratemo, before I can invite Ratemo, let me mention that from just what Esther said, she equated a magical garden to a beautiful girl. So we need to take care of this girl. This girl needs to be given the right instructions and directions so that she makes the right choices in life and so that she does not waste her beauty, because we all know that beauty fades. So we need to take care of this beauty as long as it lasts. And for us to be able to do this, we need to take care of this garden by ensuring that we are able to control pests and diseases. And because of that, tomorrow we will have someone, our very own Daktari Mihindo, an expert in this area, will be taking us through how to take care of this beautiful girl or girls gardens. I'm sure from today's presentation, we will have so many kitchen gardens coming up, including those who are in the urban centers or urban areas. You've seen what Nyambura has done, and I'm sure you'll be able to do this. We already have one person aspiring, Ratemo. She also needs to know how to take care of her crops. And Dr. Mihindo will be doing this tomorrow. Therefore, I wish to invite Dr. Mihindo to say hello to the team before we can finally hand over to Ratemo, who will wind the session for us. Please, Dr. Mihindo, if you're in. Ratemo, can you see if Dr. Mindo is in?
He's in, but I think he does not have audio. Meanwhile, I want to recognize the presence of some of our member organizations from PELUM Kenya Network. I can see we have Mr. Makanya from REDEP. We have Esther Bet from Rodi. If you don't mind, you can just say hi, and we give Dr. Mihindo a chance to tell us about tomorrow. If you don't mind. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Zachary Makanya. I want to say hi and also to congratulate this team led by Ratemo and also these trainers. I'm very, very proud of you guys. When I hear the things which are coming out from this meeting, I believe that the impact of your work will be felt for many, many years to come. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Esther?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Can somebody help and mute my photo so that you can see me?
Maybe you can start your video and then the photo will just disappear. Yeah, let me put you on spotlight.
Yes.
Continue.
This is interesting. It's disappearing.
You're okay.
You
We can see you.
Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Esther Bet. I'm the Executive Director, Rodi Kenya. And yes, the stories shared are real, and I'm happy that organic farming and the kitchen garden is being promoted. Esther, congratulations for the good work you're doing. And we hope that more and more farmers can do it, more so now in this era of toxic pesticides and harmful chemicals that are being used that are causing cancer and all the harmful things. So we need to promote that everybody is able to grow healthy and safe food in their backyard, in their kitchen garden, in their balcony, in containers, in pots, in everything, so that we are sure about what we are doing. In Rodi, we are doing that training a lot. We are promoting the production of biofertilizers, both solid and liquid. And a lot of our farmers have taken up the practices. The ones we started with like 3 years ago are very happy, and their farms are now model farms in everything because they are food gardens, they are food forests. And the biofertilizers we produce help the farms manage the weeds. So there are less weeds, but there's more food, and there are more insects, and there are more birds, there are more bees, which means you can do beekeeping and other beautiful things in your farm. Thank you very much for this program. Be blessed.
Thank you so much. I'm being told we also have other member organizations. I want to give a chance to Mr. Collins Mwashumbe from Taita. Please say something for us. Collins, are you there?
Hello, everyone. Yes, yeah. Hello, everyone. Also, me, I'm proud to be part of this team. And actually, I've liked your presentation because there are so many things which are also learning on the other side of Taita. And we are sure going to train our farmers so that we can be able to produce more healthy food that can be able to serve the community. And also we are aspiring, at least from Taita, we also have our own organic products, which will also be channeled to the organic markets. Thank you.
Thank you. I also want to give Jibiak through Kennedy, and then we hand over to Dr. Mihindo. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. First of all, thank you to Madam Esther and Mungura for the wonderful presentation. It has been very insightful and helpful to us. Also, I would like to pass my greetings from Sam Derito, who has just moved out for another meeting. He has said hi to everyone and thanked everyone for this wonderful presentation and learning experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have representation from MIAP. I think Patrick is in the house, and Transcom we have Manea. In just a minute, please just say hi to us before we introduce our trainer for tomorrow. Patrick, are you there? Transcom, do we have someone? If not, I want to hand over to Dr. Mihindo. Dr. Mihindo, we are waiting for you. Please give us about tomorrow, what to expect. Do we have someone from Transcom? Oh, Manea, please put your camera. We see you.
Hello.
Hello.
We thank
Hello,
God for
we can hear you.
and I'm glad to be here. I've learned a lot, especially from Nyambura, who is from Kajiado, where there's no rains, and she's doing something. And I believe we are going also to do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Patrick, I'm not seeing Patrick online, so now we can give Dr. Mihindo. Dr. Mihindo, are you still with us? Dr. Mihindo? I think he dropped, but maybe I can do it for him. Or, Misoi, do you want to give for tomorrow? Give a nutshell about tomorrow?
Go ahead, Ratemo. Go ahead.
All right. So thank you, everyone. Tomorrow we have a segment, a webinar about IPM. Today we had questions about how to manage pests and disease. And this applies to your kitchen garden, to your farm, anywhere. So tomorrow, please tune in. We are going to learn about IPM. All the questions we had today, some will be answered again tomorrow from our experts, Dr. Mihindo. He has a PhD in terms of dealing with IPM. And the session will start at 10 a.m. from East Africa time. So each of us who is here, I hope you can join tomorrow. And the Zoom is the same. The link has not changed. So you can still use the same Zoom link to join. So I hope to see you tomorrow. And we are going to learn from one of our experts from a member organization called Effective IPM Association. So if in terms of objectives, please come with questions about IPM. Anything you have, nothing is small. No question is something small, you cannot get an answer. That's what we say. You have to learn how to manage pests. So we also have other experts in terms of IPM who will also be with us. I hope Ferdinand will join us. Misoy will be there. Esther might join us. Even some of our multipliers are experts. So please join us and we educate the public in terms of IPM. So the question about time, it is 10 a.m. East Africa time. So now we have, I think same day as today and time. So I'm going to share an email to everyone who registered to remind you about our webinar. And I have the profile for Dr. Mihindo. He had a philosophy degree in entomology and a whole decade of experience in terms of IPM, agroecology, agroforestry. So please tune in tomorrow. I think I've enticed you. I hope you're enticed to join us tomorrow. For me, I have to be there. I want to learn about IPM, how to manage pests. And for this pest, mostly it's crops, mostly on the crop side. But in case you have questions on livestock, we'll have experts on board. So thank you, everyone. I want to finish the webinar now. And if you don't mind, you can switch on your camera. We take a photo. I hope we get your consent to post it online. So please switch on your camera if you don't mind. Let me remove my... We want to see you. And then we take a photo and we finish there. Yes, I see. Yes, I'm seeing people. People are smiling there. Let me take a photo.
Where is Manea? Can I see Manea?
Manea?
Manea, are you there? Don't hide your face.
I see Josephine. I see.
Manea, I can't see Manea. I can't see Manea.
Thank you, everyone. I have taken a photo. I see you, Jim.
I can see Ore Kihoro.
Watu wa shamba ni sawa, we understand. Thank you, everyone. I've taken a photo and post it online so you can see it there. You can leave at your own pace. We have Nyambura here. If you have more questions, please remain behind for her. If you have another question for Nyambura or Esther, please remain behind. Nyambura, please hold in case there are questions. We have people who are shy, but they might approach you now.
I'm shy. Nyambura, where are you working? Where are you from? Where are you working? Where are you? Are you in